What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Monday, September 20th, 2021. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Thanks so much for being here with me. We got a full moon in Pisces today. Yeah, if you caught the weekly already, then, I definitely talked a lot about it then, but if you're just catching this horoscope, it's a really beautiful full moon. It's powerful. I really think that, especially with Neptune here in the third decan and just how late this is in Virgo too, we're putting so many of the final touches here on not only just our physical world, but our spiritual world. And we want to use this opposition to bring those two into balance and into harmony. And we're on the cusp of Virgo season here. That's going to be on Wednesday, our Virgo and Libra, as we're about to come into the vernal equinox on the 22nd. And gosh, there's so many things that we can want to look particular. We got the sun at 28. That's a 10. It makes for a very powerful day of manifestation. Like we're manifesting our dreams into reality. But to do that, we have to kind of let go of some sense of perfection. We have to surrender to divine will and to some of our subconscious patterns. If we're seeing, especially on this Monday or even last weekend, subconscious things come up and trigger us, those are things that are meant to be kind of dissolved here with the moon in Pisces and with Neptune and in a full moon. Like we have to release some heavy, some dense shit in our life so that we can be more practical with the stuff that gives us the creativity that we're looking for, the spiritual connection, the divinity. So we don't want to just, work ourselves to death in Virgo season here, stress so much, especially with emotions heightened and all the sun's light shining here on a full moon and bringing things up to the surface and raising the tides. And literally, especially in Pisces, where that's very like ocean, mutable water. And of course, full moons bring the tides up. So we have emotions on full blast, like every sensitivity that we've ever maybe had to deal with as we've gotten to this point. What's weighing us down? What's too heavy? Why do we keep that in part of our daily routine? Why do we manifest from a place of guilt or stress? We need to surrender to divine will, surrender to where the universe is trying to take us, and just kind of let go. And you know what? Maybe just manifest from a place of the purest intentions of what you want to bring in spiritually into your life. And that will reflect, that's going to come back. That'll vibrate out into everything that you need in your physical world on a day where we have to surrender to the divine will to get the physical order that we might be desiring. We're finishing up Virgo season here. It's stressful. That sun is stressed out. It knows it's coming into fall position in a couple days. Like, we could be trying to just get everything together last minute. Like, these last degrees of Virgo are like a wedding. Like, I've been married twice, so I've been to a few weddings and I've taken part in them. It gets stressful when it comes up to that time because it's like, oh, is this perfect? Or is the groom's the groomsmen, are they all put together? Are the bridesmaids good? Does everybody have everything they need? How's the bride? How's the groom? Is the cake? Is everybody sitting? Is it like, gosh, everything is just like, has to be perfect for the moment in our life. So we don't want to just stress so much about like every little thing in our life. We want to, balance our spiritual realms, balance like our surrender and kind of really coming into all the things that we are feeling without projecting that onto every little aspect in our physical world so that we can have some sense of balance here. Definitely a beautiful day for art, creative endeavors, spiritual practices. That can really bring a lot of calm and order within that, might reflect a very nice calm and order in our physical reality. As we start to see Mercury here really slowing down, speed check, 34 minutes a day, and it is in that trine over to Jupiter. So really we get a prolonged Mercury trine Jupiter, and we get a prolonged all week with this stationing retrograde, which was going to happen on Sunday the 26th. So all week this Mercury's going really slow, square Pluto, trine Jupiter. The gift is really in learning from each other. It's in sharing our experiences, connecting, being open, to conversation, being open to relating with people is so important in our lives. And at the same time, we want to have the deep conversations. Like, people are going to be putting it out there. People are either going to be extremely uncomfortable in relating because they're not being vulnerable. They're not putting their truth out there, and they're not laying it on the line. Like, we want to be honest and deep with how we're feeling, and that's just how we're going to figure out balance. That's how we're going to release some stress, is just being honest and letting it out there. If we're just going to hold things in and try to relate, but we're not being the most authentic version of ourselves, or we're trying to people please in life, we're going to feel, really blocked, and like, I think, kind of like, getting drug into like some underworld of stress, and, not communicating from a place of love and compassion. So definitely pretty intense. We are seeing Venus come to 11 degrees, and it's starting to work on that opposition to Uranus, but it's also quincunx Chiron. So wow, especially that quincunx to Chiron for this full moon energy. And then Mars is trine the North Node. There's some beautiful aspects to this full moon. I mean, a lot of the healing is in the depth of loving ourselves. I think we have to really realize how special we are as individuals, and like give it up to how much work we've done in our own identification, and that we're not some weirdo, that we need to, really love the depth of ourself, the shadow, even with Venus and Scorpio in that quincunx to Chiron and Aries. Even love our shadow, heal our shadow, do that work could be something very beneficial, and help us release some sense of super critical, identification that just weighs us down, or leaves us in a dark place, or vulnerabilities within relating to people, or so many people I've come in contact with. We've all had some really bad relationship experiences in life. That's just like kind of part of life, and people are kind of put the walls up and the boundaries up when it comes to relating to people, because they don't want to get hurt again. So we're seeing that come up too, as we're on the cusp of Libra season, and Mars in Libras. We're really seeing where people have been really hurt in the past when it comes to relating, and we're seeing where we've hurt ourselves in relationships by not having boundaries too. So we want to have this level of vulnerability, and like really empower ourselves with our self-love, and especially with Uranus and Taurus here building up with that opposition to Venus. Like, Taurus is self-love. It is self-sustainability in life, and we have to do things differently. I think we're at a growth point here, big time, of realizing that maybe we've been not loving ourselves enough, and maybe that's why our relationships have been power struggles, and, what's another word that I'm looking for? Manipulations. A lot of relationships have been manipulated in the past. And this is where I think spiritually we're vibrating at such a higher level right now, and we've done so much well, I don't want to say everybody, of course, but so many people, especially ones who watch this channel, have done so much of that inner work. Like, now it's time to utilize that and make changes so that you can be vulnerable with yourself and vulnerable with others, as we're coming into such a powerful time of relating to other people. If we're just going to block ourselves from people, we're not going to get, the evolution that we need. And it could be the most beautiful evolution. It could take us higher. It could show us the most beautiful bonds and merger in life. But, we have to get out of some fears and like do things differently within ourselves to get out of those fears. And Mars trine the North Node is great, because here we are with this Mars and Venus. They are sharing reception, but they're both in detriment. And Mars is like, hey, move in a direction that's going to be better and more exciting for your community or for relationships, and like desire to be honest and truthful within your communication. And Mercury's kind of backing that up with a square to Pluto. Like, put it all out there, share the intense parts of yourself, be honest and open. And this full moon kind of brings that out today too. So we're manifesting a new physical world, a new physical reality with this full moon energy on this Monday. But we have to be vulnerable and open and surrender to the divine will of it, instead of putting up a bunch of unnecessary blocks, or doing things the same way over and over again, or thinking the same way. We're transforming that and realizing that we can learn so much from each other by being in our truth. Sending you all my love and best as always. Hope you have a beautiful, beautiful Monday, beautiful full moon energy. Let's see what the card has to say. Seven of Wands in reverse. Yeah, you know what? I think it's time that we stop just pushing people away. We stop just like maybe pushing love away. We stop pushing the physical world that would excite our heart away. You know, maybe we just have been holding our ground or putting up blocks or been just fighting people off for too long. Like maybe this is saying that we really need to open up a little bit more and not just like push people away. Be vulnerable to who can come into our life and the conversations and the love that could be had. We got that card because of the Two of Cups in reverse. If we just keep pushing people away or not trying to relate or not learn from people or because of the past, you know, subconscious stuff or wounds within ourselves and relationships, like we're not going to get our divine unions, love, friend, or family, or whatever it may be that comes in. There's divine union out there that wants to should give you the most amazing love and beauty, but if we don't stop pushing things away and like learn how to work together, we might miss out on some of that amazing beauty. Queen of Cups in reverse. We want to sit on the throne of our emotional sovereignty, and we don't want to be feeling, you know, yes, it's open emotionally today. We're going to feel so many things on this full moon energy in Pisces. But we don't want to, you know, restrict that. We want to feel it. And then we want to release it. And I think if we're able to release that, we're going to find a lot more power on our throne. But again, if we're just going to push things down and not be honest and truthful and communicate how we're feeling with people and just going to hold some ground in life that doesn't even make us happiness, it's just some subconscious routine, it's not going to do it. I love you all so much. Happy full moon in Pisces, and I will catch you mañana. Peace.